Man, it's been a long journey, you know, to get here and to the finals for the first time. I guess what's the feel like for you at this moment?
Oh yeah, it's been a long road. I actually feel like finally, in so many ways, to be honest. Finally, I start to fight to my potential. Finally, start to feel a little bit like start to find myself in the cage, like coming from kickboxing and Muay Thai background, like going into each fight knowing, in a sense, how I want to look and what I want to do. Uh, the difference in MMA has been like figuring that out, and I believe that it's showing that I'm improving and I'm starting to figure out how I want to look.
You know, you've been here since the beginning. It's such a unique format, the seasons, and you kind of start over fresh every year. But I just wonder along the way if you were ever like, this ain't worth it. Like, this ain't gonna happen for me. Was there ever any spot of like, man, maybe I should just go somewhere else and try something different?
To be honest, no. I'm always honest with myself, and I believe as a fighter, as an athlete, you have to be so honest with yourself. So me and my coaches, we've been at it, and we've been like thinking about, okay, how do I look? How is my improvement going? So my improvement in the gym has actually been like I've been showing improvements more so than in my fight. With the format, which I love, there's not always that you go into the fight in your tip-top shape, because of like you go into a fight, you might have some bumps and bruises, and then 6 weeks later you're facing Rory McDonald or Leal, like, you know. So it's been tough this season. I've been able to stay healthy. I've been able to fight without any big injuries, and be able to go back to the gym straight away, which has been an amazing, and also one of the main reasons I believe why you can see the improvements.
I was gonna ask about that 3-0 this year. So I mean, is the key really just staying healthy, or has something clicked in your training and your mental aspect? Has something changed, or does it really just boil down to just actually being healthy?
I think it's the what's the right word, like sometimes my Swedish, like the accumulation of everything. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I believe it's a little bit of everything. Making the move from Sweden here was good for me, I believe. Not having anything other than training to think about. New training partners, new coaches. With that being said, I still have my old coaches, and we still game plan. We do it, but what I mean is like just different views of things, and like I said, new training partners coming into the gym, not waking up like just going to the same old gym, waking up with a little bit like oh, I have a target on my back. People wanna like, that's been good for me, you know, and that's brought up my A game, and of course health. And for me, like I said, the honesty. After each season, having the receipt of each fight, looking at it and see, okay, this is what you need to improve on. If I were to fight you, I would try to do this and this and this. All right, so we need to correct that. So that's what we've been doing, and we have a long way to go. I'm still not in my prime yet. I believe I'm still getting better, which I believe everyone can see. So, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Nice. Talk about the matchup that you had here, a new face to the organization, right? Kind of a meteoric rise, the opposite of you, right? So, I mean, what are your thoughts on your opponent?
To be honest, he knows it. I told him, I was like, I was so proud of him, because he came in as an alternate, stayed ready, made weight, prepared for a fight, and made the finals. And now he has the opportunity to fight for the big bucks and the title. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of him for that. Because that's not easy. With that being said, stylistically, I think that if you look at the roster, just from top to bottom, stylistically for me, he would be one of my top 3 favorite guys to face, if you asked me in the beginning of the season. Still have to go out, still have to perform. The fight is still the fight. You still have to fight. With that being said, so I like the matchup a lot. I see myself winning the fight, and I'm not gonna say how I'm gonna win the fight because I have to be ready for a 5-round war. But I believe that I have the talent and I have the skill set to make this go pretty smooth.
Nice. The last thing for me, I guess, this moment, what does it mean to you? I mean, obviously $1 million is a lot of money, but I don't know, the fact that you've been on this journey for 4 years, I wonder if just the completion of the journey means even more than maybe that money would, you know? Like, what does this mean to you?
It's hard to not think about the money aspect of it, right? But for me, starting martial arts 2002, to be able to now, 20 years later, become a world champion for the 5th time would be an amazing, like, how do you say, like the on top. I don't know the exact expression what I'm trying to say, but you know, and also that would be for me a way to look at because I left when I left kickboxing and Muay Thai. My plan wasn't to leave it all together. My plan was to be able to get more fights and open more doors and like go in between. But I thought MMA was so much fun, and like I was like the first time I was ground and pounding, I'm like, this is actually happening. What's going on? like it was so surreal. So I haven't gone back. So for me to be able to get a title would legitimize my move from kickboxing and Muay Thai. And for myself, I would look at that as the biggest thing, and the money and the $1 million is just a byproduct, I guess.
Just the cherry on top.
That's the word I was looking for. The cherry on top. The cherry on top.
How did it feel beating Rory McDonald this season?
It felt good. It felt really good. And for me, why it felt so good was the way I won the fight. Because as a striker, you can put me against anyone, and because of the strikes, the kicks and the punches and the knees, I'm always gonna be able to put danger on my opponents in that aspect, right? But to be able to wrestle with him for 5 rounds, not being able to for him to take me down, actually taking him down and staying relaxed and like making a three round fight where it wasn't the way that I was supposed to win the fight, but I actually won the fight, which for me, it proved for me that I'm growing, because I believe that in a couple of years ago, I always believed that I could beat a guy like Rory, but not in that way. It cost me too much to wrestle before, you know. So things like that it's nice to go to the bank and be like, yeah, so now I know that I can wrestle for 3 rounds.
And then you beat Carlos Leal, who had all this hype. He had dominated Ray Cooper.
Yeah.
You go out there and you end his season.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
That was actually like, Carlos Leal was a hard one, because to be honest, I didn't know where to put him. I expected him to be good, but I didn't know how good. With the Ray Cooper fight, I was like, so how much was Ray Cooper's injury, missing weight, whatever, how much was Leal? And then he didn't fight the second round because of, I don't know if it was an injury or something. Yeah, I think it was Alex Akin got sick, so he didn't fight. So I didn't have so much to go on, and so we came up with a game plan, and I have to give him a lot of credit, because after the first round he came out and I knew he was gonna come out straight in my face, and I was like, okay, let's see what you got. And after 2 minutes or something like that, I felt like I started to find the rhythm and find the range that I wanted to fight at. And coming in to after the first round, I actually looked my corner. I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. And he came out and he just threw the game plan aside and just went straight forward. And I have to respect him, because a lot of fighters at that point try to find a way out, but he didn't. He came there. It was tough. So hats off to him.
And finally, for me, Sean Strickland recently said that you've been his hardest sparring partner that he's had in quite a while.
Yeah.
What's it like sparring that madman?
So the funny thing with Sean Strickland is from fighting Alex Sakin, fighting Rory, fighting Leal, I always make sure I get rounds with Sean Strickland because he's a maniac. And even though he's stylistically nothing like the guys I'm facing, he takes you to deep water and he helps you prepare for because in fighting, like Tyson said it, and it's the perfect way. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. So with that being said, he takes you to deep waters. So I love like we actually been we have war like every week, and it's fun. We look at each other, we're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do it, but let's go. So it's good. It's good.
Sadibou, you've been with PFL since its inaugural season of that weight class. What about this organization has kept you on the roster for so many years?
So to be honest, I think that me being able to show improvements and also I think that my style of fighting is when I'm on top of my game, it's fun to watch. I believe. So with that and also the improvements that you can see and being never cheat the game. You see that after 4 years, I'm 35 years old, and I'm standing here and saying that I'm not in my prime yet. And everyone that's been following my career been actually saying like, oh wow, you see your improvements. So with that being said, I believe that fighting under this format has given me the opportunity to grow, and I believe that's one of the biggest things that PFL can try to promote, like how a season can progress and how a fighter can look from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, talking about some of your other training partners, we saw you with Hamzat Chimaev and Darren Till again. What was the experience with that crew like? What did you work on with them specifically last month?
So, because I'm from Sweden originally, right? So I know Hamzat, and we've been training. Like I believe we started to train together before he was supposed to fight Leon Edwards, and we helped each other out a lot, and we trained together a lot, and a little bit like just like with Sean Strickland, like he's that guy. He's so good, and he makes you better, and I make him better, I believe. So even though I'm not fighting a guy looking like him stylistically, I still want rounds with him. And that goes back to the questions earlier about my improvement. Like my wrestling and my grappling, like even though it shows now, in the gym I started working on that years ago. So it's been fun. It's always fun. For me, I'm always happy to train with high level guys and people that I can learn from, and if they want something to learn from me, I'll always open for that as well.
Now, lastly for me, your vision in your youth was critically impacted. I believe you only had 20 to 40% of your ability to see.
Yeah.
What was the perseverance that you needed to dig into to push through that and get into combat sports in the first place?
There wasn't none, to be honest. For me, always when it came to stuff like that, I always said, like, for me, if you want to make an interview about it, as long as you're not trying to put it like, oh, it's like I feel sorry for him or something like that. If it can inspire someone, fine. But for me, I do what I love. I wasn't allowed to get a driver's license earlier until I got my license. But other than that, I did exactly what I love to do, and I was never gonna be looked at as like a handicap. I became world champion 4 times without. So for me, I never thought about it. It was actually like when I looked at my phone where people were like, "Oh, you can't see." I'm like, "Yeah, oh, you know." I never thought about it.
Yeah, best luck, Sadibou.
Appreciate it.
Well, good. Awesome.
All good?
Thank you, sir.